Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Trask here, and today's blog post I'm going to talk about day 2. It's the morning of day 3. I'm just out here on my balcony, the beautiful palm trees and the mountains, and I decided that yesterday we went from about 9 o'clock in the morning until 1:30 at night. It was hardcore. So we learned a lot of new information. A lot of great reminders, and I decided that what I wanted to talk to you about today was one of the most significant things that Tony teaches, which I am first going to say that I highly recommend you, if you have the opportunity, to get any of his products or go to one of his events so that you can really learn it well, then absolutely do that, and you're going to see what I mean by that. So we learned a lot of things yesterday, but if there's one thing that will really serve you, that you'll really be able to connect with and utilize in not only in your business but in your personal life, in all areas of your life, is to understand the 6 human needs. And essentially what's happening is everybody, no matter what type of action that they take, are doing things to get needs met. And there are only 6 of them, and Tony had developed this over time because he's worked with over 4 million people in countries all over the world, and over 30 years you get to see that there are patterns between people. And so he developed the 6 human needs, and once you hear them, you'll understand what I mean, that they make a lot of sense. So let's just get into them. There's 6, and the first 4 are needs that people have to get met. The other 2, some will get met, some won't, but the first 4 you absolutely must, and people will do anything to get them met, whether they consciously know they're doing that or not. So the first are certainty, second is variety, the third is significance, the fourth is loving connection, and then you have growth and contribution. And the first 4, which is certainty, variety, loving connection, and significance, are the ones that people will do. They'll crave, they'll do anything for it, whether they actually know they're doing it or not. And I'm going to give you an example of a negative behavior that is very common, where you can see how all these needs are getting met. And what happens is if you do a behavior or an action and 3 of those needs get met, then it becomes an addiction. And in order to get rid of that addiction, you have to replace it with something. You can't get rid of it. You need to bring something else in that meets the needs that addiction was giving you. So let's take the example of smoking. People who smoke are getting needs met by smoking. So let's go through them really quickly. When people smoke, it's usually because they're in a state of boredom, they feel anxious, they just want to relax. So one of the things that they get from smoking is certainty, because they know that if they have a cigarette, they're going to feel relaxed and feel a certain way. The second thing that they get from it is variety, because a lot of times when you smoke, you're going out into environments where you're probably going to meet new people, especially if you're at a club or you're at work and you're mingling with the people. So you're going to get variety in where you're going to smoke, maybe the kind you are. But also in that, with the people aspect of it, you're also going to get love and connection, because you connect with the other people who are out there smoking. And for some people, it also brings them significance, because what happens is, when you're younger, if you got into smoking, it was probably peer pressure, and you probably felt like, I'm the cool kid because I'm smoking, or things like that. So it made you feel significant because you were cool. On the other side of that, if you have people in your life who really worry about you and, always want you to stop smoking, then you feel significant because you know they're doing that because they love you, and that makes, and the fact that they're taking the time to actually ask you to quit smoking. This goes for people who overeat as well, by the way. Same thing, and people who worry about you because of your health, and you're going to get lung cancer and so on and so forth. Same thing, and so you feel love and connection there, and you feel significant in someone's life. So you can see right there that one bad behavior meets 4 needs, and you only need to meet 3 needs to make an addiction. So that's why it's so hard for people to quit. So The other thing about these 6 human needs is that most people have a couple needs that are more important than others. So for some people, certainty is more important than anything else, and those are the types of people who need to know things are going to happen. You need to have that paycheck every 2 weeks. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you cannot value certainty. It cannot be your main thing that you value the most. And here's one thing that we learned yesterday. Now, I had heard about these human needs about 2 years ago when I was first introduced to Tony's work. And when I learned about them, they absolutely changed the way that I viewed people. And I'm going to recommend the Ultimate Relationship Program by Tony and Sage for the reason that that was the program that really made me see people differently. And you learn about the human needs. And there's 6 DVDs in that set that are from live interventions. We had a couple of live interventions yesterday. They were absolutely magnificent. And what you see is that it's not, especially when it comes to relationships, it's not that people don't love or don't care. It's that their needs are not getting met in a way that is creating a positive environment and growth and contribution and things like that, particularly when it comes to 2 people. But anyways, that's a side note, and I want you to know that those programs are there. Of course, I'll come to a live event. But really what's happening is, if you look at your life, you're going to realize that there are a couple of needs that are most important to you. And they are the basis of your decision making. And they're really, really going to shape the way your future goes unless you realize what they are. And then you have to see, are they serving you? Is it having that need really helping you getting to where you want to go? And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I'm not going to go into full detail. If you want to learn more, come to an event or get the programs, but this will help you. One thing I realized that was driving me, and for most A-type people who are very success-oriented and, you know, driven, usually significance is what's driving them, the need to feel significant. And by the way, the need to feel significance is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. It drives a lot of people to do good things. But here's the long-term problem. If significance is the one most important thing on your list, which by the way, it was for me, and I realized that this weekend, now I'm going to shift that to actually love being the most important thing. And here's the reason. For you to feel significant, for most people, it has to come externally. It has to come from getting rewards and appreciation from other people. But you can't control what other people do or how they feel or how they say, or what they say, sorry. That's not up to you. So if you want to feel significant as your absolute most important #1 need that has to be met, you're going to be very disappointed because you want to be able to create a need that you can do for yourself. So for example, if you put love as your #1 need, then all you have to do is go inside and think of the things that you're grateful for, the people that you love. You can get love in an instant from yourself. Another one is, here's one. So if certainty was #1 to you, certainty, although it is good because it might create some healthy patterns in your life, it's also difficult to have a really good relationship, like a romantic relationship. Because what makes romantic relationships exciting and thrilling is that they're not always certain, that there's variety and there's, you know, it's the spice of life. There's lots of fun things going on. And that's probably what attracted to you to the person in the first place, is that there's mystery there, and maybe they gave you surprises and things like that. So what you really want to do is take a look at, you know, what needs are getting met by some of the behaviors that you're doing on a regular basis. And if they're negative behaviors, if you can find out what needs are getting met, then find a different behavior that can meet those needs. So when you look at, say, if you're trying to quit smoking, if you can find an activity that gets the needs met for you, so that you don't have to smoke anymore. Maybe you get enough leverage and you realize that, you know, some people, if they're smokers but then they have a baby on the way, then their needs focus shifts because they realize, I can't bring a child into the world and smoke around them. and that's not fair to them. And now they're going to get needs met like significance and love and connection from the child and from being a good parent. So instead of the love and connection from being out with smokers, from just getting that high, that calmness, they're going to get it from knowing they're doing a good thing for their child. You see what I mean? Anyways, for more information on this, get any of Tony's products or go to one of his events. TonyRobbins.com is the website. And I highly recommend it because honestly, when I got that love and relationship program, it was about 1.5 years ago, it changed the way I look at people. It wasn't about just personal, intimate relationships. It is about relationships with everybody. And from a business perspective, when you can understand why people, your employees, your business partners are doing what they're doing, what needs are being met, and once you start to understand them and watch patterns, and it doesn't take long to realize what needs people are getting met by doing certain things and what's important to them. And therefore, how can you interact with them and how can you give them what they need so that they're on your side, and then they're more productive, and you can help them and they'll help you, and it's a win-win-win for everybody. So that's it for today. We're going into day 3 now. I'm really excited for today. I don't know what is going to happen, but I have to tell you that this is truly an amazing, life-changing event. And many people have said, Tony said yesterday, this is his absolute favorite event because it really gets into the core of who you are. We're really, really looking at what happened to us over our lifetime, and then to create the patterns that we have, and then most importantly, how do you break those patterns? That's what's most important. What patterns do you need now to move to the future? So that's what we're getting into. But knowing those needs alone will really help you. So think about it. What needs are you getting met? And to wrap it up, we have certainty, variety, significance, love and connection. 4 ones you'll find a way to get met, no matter what, negative or positive. And then growth and contribution are the last 2. So look at what you've been doing for a long time, the last couple of years. What's going right, what's going wrong, and look at, well, what needs am I getting met by doing certain things, by your work, by your family, by any activities that you're doing. And that will help you understand a lot more about who you are, and maybe you have to look at, do you want to shift a need? And because if you value love and significance, which by the way were my top 2, but mine was significance first and then love. But if I can switch those, then what it does for me is I can feel love anytime that I want. And if I'm getting my number 1 need met, then I come from a much bigger place of certainty and knowing that I can feel happy, knowing that my most important need is being met. So the significance is not as important, so I don't have to focus on what rewards am I getting, or am I helping people. That's going to come naturally because I'm going to be so filled up with love that it's going to be that, when the overspill effect, because I'm getting more of what I really need. And so the second part is not as important. And when your drive is just to add value to people and to, how can I be of service to people versus if I do this, am I going to get this reward? Your life changes just like that in an instant. So that's it for today. I gotta run. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Please comment and make sure you tweet and Facebook and dig and whatever else that you're doing out there so that people can learn this information. And if you really like it and want to dig in the future, go pick up, one of his programs, The Ultimate Relationship. The best is to come to a live event. You're going to see live interventions at these events, and you really get to understand people on a whole new level, and that will help you in every area of your life. So that's it. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.